This is Proclaim, 30 minutes of news and information from around the Diocese of Altoona-Johnstown, and the Proclaim TV Mass live from St. John Galbert Cathedral in Johnstown at 11 a.m. Proclaim is brought to you by the Independent Catholic Foundation, UPMC Altoona, and the generous support of the Catholic Ministries Drive.
Meet 4 inspiring individuals in consecrated life, each reflecting the light of Christ to others through their ministries of healthcare and personal care. Good morning and welcome to a special edition of Proclaim for Sunday, February 1st, 2026. I'm Tony DeGaulle. Tomorrow, February 2nd, 40 days after Christmas, the Catholic Church observes the Feast of the Presentation of the Lord, which commemorates Mary and Joseph presenting the infant Jesus at the temple in Jerusalem as prescribed by Jewish law. February 2nd is also known as Candlemas Day, the day on which candles are blessed, symbolizing Christ as the light of the world. The day is also a World Day of Prayer for consecrated life, as those in consecrated life are called to reflect the light of Christ to all. This weekend in parishes, the World Day of Prayer for Consecrated Life is being observed. Here in the Diocese of Altoona-Johnstown, we're blessed by the presence and ministry of various religious communities, including the Order of St. Benedict, the Third Order Regular Franciscans, Sacred Heart and Immaculate Conception Provinces, the Conventual Franciscans, the Capuchin Franciscans, the Franciscan Friars Minor, the Heralds of the Good News, the Carmelite Community of the Word, the Carmelite Sisters for the Aged and Infirm, the Sister Servants of the Most Sacred Heart of Jesus, the Sisters of St. Anne, the Sisters of St. Joseph, the Sisters of the Holy Family of Nazareth, the Little Sisters of Jesus, and the Discalced Carmelite Nuns. Our prayers and heartfelt gratitude to all men and women religious in our diocese. Today on Proclaim, I'm spotlighting 3 of the communities I just mentioned, profiling men and women religious who provide loving and compassionate health care and personal care. I begin with Father Joseph Marie Krillich, a priest of the Third Order Regular Franciscans, Sacred Heart Province in Loretto, who is also a practicing physical therapist. Through his ministries, he's helping to heal people both spiritually and physically, which makes this Father Joseph Marie no average Joe.
I was in college, I was a science major, so I have undergraduate degrees in chemistry, and then from there I always did a pre-med background because I always thought I wanted to go into healthcare, and it wasn't until about my senior year that I started looking more into my vocation of what God was calling me to do, and I did feel a call to religious life to some degree, and so I took some time to do a mission in Belize, teaching and just to continue that discernment. And after that discernment, I realized that I wanted healthcare to be a part of my life, but at the same time I knew that this vocation and calling to the Franciscan TORs was still on my heart. And so I went in and joined the order at that point, and this is back in 2014. And it was always just God calling me onto that next step. So I knew that I wanted to continue as a Franciscan and wanted to become, God calling me to become a priest, and finding a lot of joy and peace in that. And then it wasn't until towards the end of my seminary days that I realized that I wanted somehow to get back into the sciences, and I didn't really know how that was going to work. And it wasn't until I spoke with some people, especially calling my sister, I remember one day, and telling her I was looking into going into physical therapy in this way that I felt God calling me to this kind of holistic healing, of helping people on their journey to healing and accompanying on them in that way. Because physical therapy is a way that I spend, not 5 minutes with people, but I spend an hour at a time over weeks and weeks with them. And I don't just treat their physical ailments, but it is a way that we approach looking at the whole person. And so it was then that I asked my community that if I could look into the doctorate program for physical therapy, and they allowed me to go on to study that. And even in that situation, I wasn't sure. I was still at a point of, trusting that God through all this is going to help bring, how am I going to be a priest and also a physical therapist? And it was through that he put opening one door after another. And I found this way that I could, treat patients part-time and also still do my sacramental ministry, still have time for my community, and just juggling all those things. And now in over this past year, I've really seen how God has brought a lot of fruit through that, and has brought me a lot of joy in just the variety and the way that I can reach people outside of the church building itself. So a typical week, so Sunday is set aside for my religious community, any sort of masses that need to be presided over, or participate in those masses on a Sunday, so pretty typical. And then I have community, all the friars in Loretto, we get together for benediction and evening prayer and a dinner together, which is nice to start the week. And then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I will usually wake up, have morning prayer and mass, and then with the brothers, I will then go to the clinic. So I work at Holy Trinity Rehab down in Hollidaysburg, which is a Catholic clinic. And I will be there all the way up until I need to return in the evening for evening prayer with the brothers. And then on Thursday is my teaching day. So then I also adjunct teach in physical therapy and the health sciences at St. Francis University. So I will spend all Thursday afternoon, will be a lot of teaching. Right now I'm teaching an advanced human anatomy course with cadaver dissection. And it's a beautiful way I can minister to the students and spend time and get to know them, and also share my knowledge with them. And then on Friday is my hodgepodge day, what I call, which is typically means I do physical therapy. I'll see some of the friars at our infirmary across the street. I'll then, some days come back for confessions and mass, and then I might go back and do another PT session with someone, and then I'll come back here for, spiritual direction with some students, and then do the house shopping to get the groceries for the brothers, and then come together for prayers and dinner at the end of the day. And I love it because it's variety and it's something different, and I just enjoy all these elements and bringing them together. Yeah, and I've really seen how, being ordained a priest first and helping people pastorally, especially when they're in situations that are difficult and painful. And that has helped me tremendously when I come into a clinical situation and someone is in front of me and they are there because usually they're in pain. And it's not just, a knee or a wrist or whatever it is that is causing their pain, but I'm looking at the whole person. And so often, that my patients all know that I'm a priest, and so they will bring up conversations, or I will ask them about their lives, and there is a comfort level, and they know that it's a place that they can share with me, and I'm not going to shun away from that or kind of turn that down. They know that very much that I'm willing to talk about my faith. I'm willing to talk about how God is working in their lives, the way that they're struggling in their whatever difficulty it is. One of my favorite things to do is I just love, letting patients, I make sure I pray for all my patients, and I let them know that. And that will be a huge, it can be a huge impact on them. I've provided anointing of the sick for some of my patients that are going into surgery that are very nervous or that have had negative experience with surgery in the past. I've even heard confessions of some of my patients after they were done with their treatment sessions, because they just felt like Father Joe is there, and it's very much a holistic way that I can bring them some healing. And that's been just very unique in a way that I'm able to practice as both a physical therapist but also as a priest. And I'm just very grateful that I'm able to work in Holy Trinity Rehab, where they allow me to do all of that and integrate this ministry of healing all in one place. I feel extremely blessed just to be able to minister the sacraments, to be able to celebrate the Eucharist and allow people to receive our Lord. And then, an hour later, I am working on helping them get better mobility back and teaching them of how they can move again. And for me, I just feel like in order to have all the training and education that has been provided for me, to be able to just share that with other people. I feel like I've been given so much of this, a wealth of knowledge and ways that I can share God's ministry of healing with other people, that I really have a responsibility to bring that to others, to simply just be an instrument. And it's my biggest goal is to kind of just move out of the way so that God can work through me, because I'm not going to be the one that heals somebody, but He can bring healing in the ways that we allow Him to heal others through us. And so that has just always been my goal, to each day to empty myself more fully, to really truly listen to people, see what their biggest struggle is, where they need healing the most, and allow God to do the work through me in any way He can.
Father Joseph Marie Krillich, and in his spare time, one of Father Joe's hobbies is fitness. You might recall I profiled him and 3 of his brother Franciscans a while back in Proclaim magazine. The 4 are committed to a healthy lifestyle, and they're regulars in the gym they set up in their friary residence. Our best to those guys and the entire Franciscan community.
Proclaim is brought to you by the Independent Catholic Foundation, UPMC Altoona, and the generous support of the Catholic Ministries Drive.
The Independent Catholic Foundation has become the largest charitable foundation in Central PA, with investments aligned according to the ethical, moral, and social teachings of the Catholic Church. Our endowments produce nearly $2 million in financial aid for local parishes, schools, ministries, and cemeteries. To learn more about the Independent Catholic Foundation, call or visit us online. Entrust your legacy with the Independent Catholic Foundation.
One of the treasures in our diocese is Garvey Manor Nursing Home in Hollidaysburg, which provides exceptional skilled care and residential living for seniors. The Carmelite Sisters for the Aged and Infirm lovingly minister at Garvey alongside a dedicated lay staff. And of course, also under the Garvey umbrella is Our Lady of the Alleghenies Assisted Living and Marion Heights Independent Living. The other day, the administrator and the director of pastoral and palliative care spoke with me about the mission of Garvey, how they enrich the lives of their residents, and how the residents enrich their lives.
I think that so many times people are amazed when they walk into Garvey Manor. They say this does not look like a long-term care facility. And I say, well, this is how a long-term care facility should look. Over and above all else, we certainly try to be a home for the residents who come here. Even though many people don't come willingly, they come because they have a need. Many people don't come with the anticipation they're going to be here for long term, but they are. So we want to see that when they come here, that they have that experience of feeling belonging, feeling welcomed, feeling incorporated into more than just a healthcare facility, but being part of. And all of our staff are amazing the way the staff buy into our mission. As I said, when they come, it's foreign to them. We're saying words to them that they can't even imagine. They come for a job. And I always say to them, you come for a job, but I want you to stay because of the mission. And to realize that what we're doing is not just a job, it's a ministry. It's a ministry that makes the difference in people's lives that no one else on earth could make. And so each opportunity, each resident we see, each staff member we have, each family member we encounter are an opportunity of sharing God and God's graces. It's a blessing for me to be able to enliven here at Garvey Manor that which was done before I arrived here 29 years ago tomorrow. And what was passed on to us by our founders, Mother Venerable Mary Angeline Teresa, that we can see here in the person of each resident, Christ, that we can bring to each one of them something that is enhancing their human dignity, enhancing the quality of their life. And as they end their journey, or they continue on in their life journey, our life journey merges with us. And in the contemplative spirituality of our Carmelite heritage, embodying in ourselves the life of Christ and living in the presence of God also gives us that opportunity to bring that to the residents, to increase their awareness of being in the presence of God and to realize that their life is being fulfilled in a way that is unique and is God-centered and is mission-driven.
59 years ago, I left Scotland and never imagined that I would be in Hollidaysburg, Pennsylvania. And I was just reflecting the other day, this is my 10th anniversary this year of being at Garvey Manor. And most of my religious life I worked in nursing, but when I was asked to come to Garvey Manor, it was presented to me to work through pastoral services, And I thought, what a joy. You know, when we work in nursing, we're with the residents all the time, we're doing for the residents, but we don't really get time to be with the residents. You know, most of the time when we're with families, it's because of difficult situations. And for the past 10 years, it has been such a joy to be able to journey with the residents and their families. A lot of time as they're coming closer to the end of their life and help to prepare them to meet their God. Also for the residents who come for short-term rehab, to be able to help them through this time of their illness and help prepare them to go back to the community. And it's been a tremendous joy. As a religious, I've always had contact with the residents, but working in pastoral services, working with end-of-life care, working with our residents through palliative care, which is our end-of-life program, has just been a tremendous joy. You might be the only person that gives somebody a smile, you know, and so many times people have come forward and said, gosh, what a blessing that you were there. Or I was sitting with Mom and you came into the room and put a different perspective on what we were doing and talked about the presence of the Lord and how much joy there actually is in helping prepare a person for the end of their life. And even on the regular day-to-day, we have so much fun interactions with the residents.
Commitment to mission is everything, because mission is our identity. And our mission statement says it all. It says, you know, our mission is to promote and provide personal and professional quality of care and services in an atmosphere which reflects Christ's compassion, love, and concern for the elderly. Those are not just words that are printed in our material, that are posted on our walls. Those words and that feeling is embedded into everybody. From the day a new person comes in, a lay person is hired, that is what they stay for. That's what, not maybe what they come for, but that's what they stay for. And a commitment to that, the integrity of living mission, is what makes us good. And Garvey Manor in 2026 now is celebrating its 61st year of presence in the diocese, and certainly our Carmelite sisters who came here before the home opened in the tenure of Bishop McCormick, God bless him and God rest his soul, you know, they laid the foundation for that. They laid the foundation to say, what is Garvey Manor going to be about? But it's going to be about the integrity of bringing Christ to the elderly and bringing that mission to fulfillment in every one of their lives.
And the residents do enrich our lives, especially our residents who have cognitive impairment. You know, they may not know the words, they may not know different things, but when they see us dressed in our habit, or when they see Father coming up, it immediately draws them to God. I don't know how many times I've been called Father. You know, how many times, oh, you know, are you God's wife? You know, because they do recognize that. It is amazing how that never leaves them. The experience of what they have grown up with, no matter which religion they followed, you know, which church they followed, they still recognize who God is in their life. And that's just an amazing thing for me. And it has brought me so much joy to be able to bring some of those memories back to the residents.
The joy I feel is, number one of amazement. The amazement at seeing how we can impact people's lives. And the humility I feel, so humble to think that I'm part of it. And to think that I have a responsibility to create the tempo and to maintain the tempo where that opportunity for the residents to have excellence is embedded. And the fulfillment of my personal life, my religious life especially, has just been amazement to me, because I never expected when I came here that I would be here for 29 years, and please God, I will continue on in the future. I came here as a stranger, but I have been embraced by the community, by the residents, by the staff, by the families. And it is an opportunity for me to realize how the presence of Christ within each one of us goes out to another person, and how the that Christ in that person comes back to me and fulfills my life. And so the joy that I feel is absolutely amazing and God-centered, and certainly blessings. I feel blessings that God has reaped upon me in giving me the opportunity to serve here in this ministry.
Sister Joachim and I entered the convent together the same day, and Sister Jacinta, who is here, was our novice mistress. And who would have thought that 58 years later, the three of us would be here ministering to the residents. A lot of what Sister Jacinta taught us, we're still putting into play, and she's still teaching us. And it's just a tremendous, I hope the Lord gives me a long time from here to be able to continue to minister for Him and through the residents here in Garvey Manor.
Great being with those sisters there. Meanwhile, another religious community with a tremendous presence in our diocese is the Sister Servants of the Most Sacred Heart of Jesus. Sisters in that community are engaged in a variety of ministries throughout our local church, including personal care through John Paul II Manor in Crescent. Mother Mary Joseph Calor is the Provincial Superior and Administrator of John Paul II Manor. I visited JP2 the other day, where the nursing supervisor, Sister Mary Joan Greenberg, lovingly spoke of the ministry and mission there and the joy of consecrated life. She even introduced me to the beloved pets there, dogs Lolik and Lena, several cockatiels, and some goldfish.
You're a good boy. You're a good boy. Oh boy.
Smile. Say birdseed. Our first American provincial, also the sister who basically founded our community in this country, always dreamed of having a personal care home run by the sisters. We started out with a building in Johnstown on Railroad Street, and we were there for some 15 years. We served the people there pretty much in the same way, but it was a very old building. It wasn't up to the standards required by state regulations for a home, and the cost of actually renovating the building to make it continue would have been more than building a new building. So with a lot of assistance, a lot of loans, a lot of work, this building here was built according to the specifications of our sisters. It opened in 2005. We presently take care of 30 residents. They're mostly elderly. We're here to care for people that need a little more help than what they could manage on their own. We're not a skilled nursing facility, so if someone needs that, they need to apply to a skilled facility. But we do personal care, which means we help residents with their medications, with their laundry, with their meals, with their daily activities. If someone needs help taking a bath, taking a shower, we do that. We also try to provide for their spiritual needs. We have daily mass. We have daily evening prayer and rosary that everyone is welcome to attend. We have a chapel with the Blessed Sacrament, and anyone is welcome there at any time of the day or night. As Sisters of the Sacred Heart, of course, our symbol is the heart of Jesus, which is essentially love. And our mission is to provide love, to return love to God, especially trying to make up for the love that He doesn't receive from people, and then to spread that love among His people, especially people that might be neglected, people who are older, people who might be forgotten by society, people who have needs that are not convenient for other people. Many of our residents do have loving families that come in and visit, but sometimes we have people that don't have anyone to give them that support. And we're here, especially our sisters are here, to provide the comfort, the compassion that everyone needs and that not everyone gets. A lot of the times our people have conditions or just have moments where they feel totally embarrassed by their condition or by what's just happened to them. They're losing control of certain faculties. They may be physical faculties or mental faculties. And our mission here is to remember that that person is still a human that needs respect, that craves being honored for who they are. And that's something that we try each day to provide for everyone, no matter who they are. The joys of being here are knowing that there are people here that need me. The challenges are sometimes the fact that there are so many needs that I feel like I need to maybe clone myself into 5 people so that I can be in all the places I need to be at the same time. But at the same time, the challenges make me feel more alive, and challenges are part of life. Sometimes it feels like having a whole new set of maybe 30 or so grandparents or parents as I get older that want my attention and that also want to look after me. There are many times in a day where I'll realize I'm probably getting a lot more than I'm actually giving. The challenge is that I'm sort of on duty pretty much all the time. If someone needs something at night, I'm right here on the premises and they can call and someone can get me. And that can be challenging. Another thing that can be challenging is the fact that every day there's pretty much the same routine, just with a few little extras thrown in to keep one on one's toes, so to speak. And I've learned, or I keep reminding myself, that even though I'm doing the same thing a lot of the time every day, each experience is actually different. That I may be doing physically the same thing, but it's a new day, a new moment, new needs. Each person is perhaps not the same every day. And knowing that I am here for people that need to be loved and comforted is both a reminder, a challenge, sometimes a rebuke when I become impatient with them or myself or even the sisters, and also a consolation, because really there isn't any minute, any moment that's lost. If everything's given for love, then nothing is lost. When I first became a Christian, one of the things that drew me to the Catholic Church from being Jewish and rather secular was the fact that, okay, I'm a Christian, I believe in Jesus, but the Catholics have a way where you can marry God. And that whole idea of being married to God himself was like, that is so cool. I really, really want that. And that will make me very happy. And it has. There have been ups and downs and problems. And just in my daily life here at John Paul II Manor, there were moments where I'm ready to tear my hair out and scream. But the joy of belonging to God and knowing that I have a relationship of intimacy with him, even if my mind is in 30,000 other places at the moment, deep down at the end of the day, I know that everything I'm doing is with him, and that Christ is with me, and that Christ is loving me in every moment of that day, and that I'm just here to be a channel of that love to the people that I'm serving. And there's nothing better than that.
Sister Mary Joan Greenberg there at John Paul II Manor in Crescent, representing the sister servants of the Most Sacred Heart of Jesus, a tremendous and loving presence in our diocese. We salute them and all of the men and women religious in our diocese as we observe the World Day of Prayer for Consecrated Life. Thank you to them for reflecting the light of Christ to us all. That does it for this special edition of Proclaim for Sunday, February 1st, 2026. I'm Tony DeGaulle. Have a great week and stay tuned for the live Mass broadcast next.
Thank you for watching Proclaim. Stay up to date with the latest diocesan news and information anytime by visiting the Proclaim e-news site at proclaim.dioceseaj.org. While you're there, sign up for email updates by clicking on the e-news tab in the upper right. You can also visit the Diocese of Altoona-Johnstown website at dioceseaj.org. Don't forget to like the Diocese of Altoona-Johnstown on Facebook. Stay tuned for the Proclaim TV Mass live from St. John Galbert Cathedral in Johnstown, brought to you by the Independent Catholic Foundation and the generous support of the Catholic Ministries Drive.